Hey, everybody. You're listening to Page Screen and Beyond podcast number 9 for September 1st, 2019. This week we talk about Miles Morales' doppelganger in Absolute Carnage, Silver Surfer Black, the Joker trailer, 3 days only for 3 from Hell, the Mortal Kombat DLC pack, and Cyberpunk 2077. Hey everybody, I'm John Tubbs.
I'm Keegan Lagerwall.
And welcome to Page Screen and Beyond, your home of a little bit of news, a little bit of perspective, and a whole lot of banter. All right, boys.
You guys decided to go with the first last name, both of you?
Yeah.
Why? It's so formal.
Yeah.
I mean,
If I'm going to tell the name,
well, that's the thing is,
salud. Oh, the American whiskey. Gotta love the plastic bottle.
I have a cut on my lip.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't do so well.
Yeah, I heard like a bitch. Yeah, look that up, Jamie.
All right. So today we're talking about Miles Morales gets his own doppelganger in Absolute Carnage 2. So,
absolutely fucking terrifying.
yeah,
looking.
if you're familiar with Spider-Verse, the most recent animated Spider-Man installment, we got the black and red Miles Morales getting overtaken by Carnage and doppelganger Carnage. If you're not familiar with doppelganger, it's a symbiote kind of like Venom, but a little bit more animalistic and aggressive. So whatever this symbiote or whoever this symbiote becomes connected to, they, how do I put this? They grow 8 arms and 6 eyes and fangs and become monsters of death and destruction.
Yeah, it's rather grotesque.
In the Spider-Man vein of things, they're just to kind of give you an idea of how crazy they are. Their webs are razor sharp, so it's meant to kill you, cut you up into pieces,
I mean, Carnage has
and
never
eat your
been
gizzards.
Carnage has never been short of excessive violence and off-putting imagery.
Mm-hmm.
But like this monstrosity of extra appendages, just gnarly snarl, you know what I mean? And then even if it's trying to be cloaked with a hood with the 8 eyes, it's still
This thing is menacing beyond all fucking belief.
it's gruesome.
I feel
and I'm
like-
excited to, like I don't know the story, but this
Yeah.
makes like all the imagery makes me so curious.
I know
to
that the
get-
doppelgangers were always kind of like that, where they turn more into like monstrosities of the thing that they're taking over. You know what I mean? Rather than just being like Venom and being like a big burly black
suit Spider-Man.
black suit Spider-Man, basically. This is more taking it to the level of like Alien, where I feel like the alien from Aliens would be afraid of this thing. Yeah, that's
Now I just imagine the horrible creation of a facehugger attaching itself to this doppelganger.
oh my god.
It hurts my soul.
That should be a what if.
Just put
I mean,
Venom with an alien.
Technically,
with a
Alien
xenomorph.
now exists within the Disney universe because of the whole Fox acquirement.
Man, a xenomorph symbiote would be gnarly.
I want to see it. I really do, actually. That sounds like one of the best rated R movies I think I can think of. Like, I think even like seeing it as a cartoon
I was gonna
would
say,
be
it doesn't matter
acceptable.
whether you animate it or have it like I prefer that being
I
animated. Like you can't do that justice live action. It doesn't matter how NC-17 you're allowed to go.
Oh my god!
Like animation's the only thing that's gonna do a xenomorph symbiote justice.
Oh,
Just look at this image.
oh, I'm getting a phone call. That's my girlfriend. Sorry, honey. I'm working on podcast stuff.
Whoop, 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 whoop,
Whoa,
whoop.
whoa, 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 whoa. Actually, I'll just answer it and tell her. Put her on speakerphone. Hey, sweetheart.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
What are you doing?
I am actually working on podcast stuff right now. Yes.
Sounds like you're in the driveway selling stuff.
Well, my mom got to the house and I told her I was leaving, so.
Okay, so you was not nice about that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I'll give you a call when I'm done here and I'll let you know.
Oh my god, what are you brushing me off?
No.
Yeah, this is bullshit. I suck your dick. Fine.
I'll be over tonight, I promise.
You will?
Yes.
What? Do you want to eat pizza? I bought a breakfast pizza. Do you want to eat this breakfast pizza?
That sounds dope.
Oh my god, cool. Okay, there's a lot of other options, but either way,
All
I
right.
love you.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
All right, love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So yeah, Doppelganger, Miles Morales. Sorry about that, everybody. Duty calls, you know. So yeah, I'm excited for this. It kind of goes through, just this, this type of Carnage symbiote, or this, branch of Carnage symbiote, killing people, trying to appease someone, it looks like, doing the dirty work, or that he's doing the dirty work for. Let's see. Doppelganger became a pseudo-child of Carnage and Shriek, and reuniting ahead of Absolute Carnage together formed a cult dedicated to worshipping the Null, K-N-U-L-L. In Web of Venom, Cult of Carnage, they eventually returned to Doverton and got the codexes, whatever that means, the symbiote remnants left on the body's previous hosts from citizens who were infected by Carnage. Oh, so that's right. So he's going around trying to collect remnants of Carnage to make himself more powerful. So, like, each person that was, taken over by Carnage has, like, a little bit of him left in him.
Mhm.
So he's going around ripping people's spines out to get to...
Give me your last bit of carnage.
Give me your little Carnage. I need it. Let's see. According to scientists who were briefly able to study him after the apparent death, Doppelganger is an inorganic and may not be legally alive to begin with. What the nature of Miles Morales' version of Doppelganger is, we wait to see. So yeah, you can pick that up on eBay for about $10 to $20, somewhere around there. Looks gruesome, as Carnage always is. So, yeah.
Gut wrenching.
Gut-wrenching, to say the least. All right, what's next, Keegan? What do you got for Paige?
Yeah, Silver Surfer Black. Basically, it's a Guardians of the Galaxy spinoff, and in it, they all get sucked into a black hole, they being Guardians and Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And it's a Silver Surfer story of him fighting internally and externally, because you have this daunting, overpowered character that gets faced with oblivion, but also having to face oblivion within himself.
Mm.
It can be pseudo and meta, or it could just be, like cosmic excitement. You know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of the best of both worlds: visual spectacle and profound thought. I am very intrigued by this one.
I like seeing the characters like this that are lesser known kind of being put into the forefront of stories like this, and kind of being like not forced into being a hero, but kind of pushed into doing the good rather than just being like an omnipotent, emotionless being like he's been.
Right,
So-
rather than just serving the objective, having to fight against oblivion. Like,
Yeah. Oblivion itself.
it makes me think of a Never-Ending Story. You
No
know,
shit.
this is Marvel's Never-Ending Story, where it's like you're facing the nothing, and you just have to try and do the right thing.
The Nether Realms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no,
it looks
sto-
pretty simple. The
Story by
cover.
Donny Cates, and it's again very trippy, but also kind of exactly what we're looking for in the current state of things.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Back to basics.
right, very headpiece thinking,
Yeah.
while still being very visually stunning with cosmic aesthetics.
Yeah. I like that trippy stuff. And that was like a simple, like, black and white and gray aesthetic, you know? Especially with a character like Silver Surfer, you have to deal with a lot of, like, black and white issues. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're killing the planet? Well, I guess he has to kill all of us. Very black and white. So yeah, interested in that. Price is pretty low, looking like $359 plus tax. So yeah, go pick it up if you're into that kind of thing.
Love me some cosmic.
Yeah,
Nothing but bright skies for me.
I always
forward.
like getting into like the more cosmic galactic storylines, and playing with black holes is always a fun idea.
Our next topic, though, couldn't be more polar opposite,
Yeah.
while still being in the same vein of that sweet, sweet comic lore goodness.
Come
Although
Back
comic
down-
lore adjacent from my perspective.
Yeah. So I feel like this is kind of in a weird Deadpool situation where it's
To
like,
not be teasing it anymore, Joker.
it's we're talking about the Joker trailer that of course everybody's talking about and excited for. That comes out October 4th, I believe. So got about a month, a little over a month, until it actually comes out. But we're seeing reviews for it, and I knew that Joaquin Phoenix was gonna be a showstopper in this, just because he's kind of like Christian Bale, weirdly enough, where he really tries to not like behave like a previous character, but kind of make it his own. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And do whatever needs to be done to make it like his vision of what that character is, instead of like, oh, I want to be the next Jack Nicholson Joker, or I want to be the next you can't, in order to be a good Joker, you can't reference past Jokers. You know what I mean? You have to create your own. Like,
Right.
Heath Ledger created his own Joker, and I feel like he definitely created his own Joker. With Jared Leto's Joker, I felt like he kind of tried to take all of the Jokers and mush them into his own personality, which is, why I think that we all didn't kind of grasp it. We didn't hook that Joker too well. I mean, all the tattoos and like, it was more like a trap Joker, trap house Joker, instead of an actual like criminal mastermind.
I have a very controversial stance that I'm gonna get out of the way
Uh-huh.
because the reviews for this, everyone who's seen it has been extremely positive.
Mm-hmm.
Upper 8s to 10s, and I, from the trailers, love Joaquin Phoenix acting chops being portrayed.
Yes.
The cinematography, the choice of music, like everything about this movie seems very beautiful and bleak, and
Also meticulous.
But
Like, you
my-
can see the meticulousness of him portraying his own character of the Joker. It's a defeated, depressed person who, through trying to become himself, is ridiculed, and then it only feeds, like, the ridiculing feeds him into becoming his ultimate self, but also the ultimate Joker and the ultimate criminal, I think.
I'm very curious because I can't wait to
And
see
it's like a
this
two-edged sword.
month away. But if this leads into any type of sequel property, because
I don't know if it
my big issue with this is we could have just as, when I was saying I had a controversial take on it, we could have just as easily called this, like, what is it, Pagliacci,
Mm.
the famous sad clown.
Yeah. Well, there's Pogo the Clown.
It just you could have called this movie anything, and Joaquin Phoenix playing this sad, broken man who retaliates against society, like my
Weary Willie,
okay.
known as Emmett Kelly. Kelly was one of the greatest American circus clowns in the 20th century.
Yeah, no, I mean Joaquin Phoenix is just playing a sad clown, and I get the fact that comic book movies have an allure. The Joker is a very attachable name. And honestly, I hope that this is the beauty of trailers not giving too much away, hearing our outcry of being overly hyped on a movie because you give away all of the best parts. So if you retain what the Joker movie is at its core and what it turns into by the end, I'd love to be blown away by this. But right now, like, I see a fantastic Oscar caliber, like, performance across the board,
I could agree with
and cinematography and, like, music direction, everything. Like, this looks like an Oscar bait movie wrapped in a comic book shell.
Yes.
But I don't know how much this comic book shell, by the end of it, is going to ring true for... Because, I mean, again, call it the Pagliacci movie if it's not going to be the Joker, if it doesn't feel like Gotham, if it doesn't feel like Joker. You can put paint on a person and, like, don't clown stereotype this person as Joker because of the fact that you want to make a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, one thing I grasped from the trailer is that, like, there is a lot of crime going on. Like, he gets beat up in an alley. Similar, there's a parallel there to Bruce Wayne losing his parents in the alley. So it's almost like there was also, I think I saw someone, like, there's a theory going around that someone saw something that connected Joker's lineage to Bruce Wayne, and that they're somehow related, or to the Wayne family in some way. And that's, like, why he is in the dumps, or, like, the dire straits that he's in the movie, is that the Wayne family is somehow to blame. And I always like when they kind of tie in characters that into something that's being still created, because this Joker movie isn't based off of anything. This is its own standalone thing.
right. I'd be willing to bet a good amount of money we do not see the Dark Knight wants.
No,
in this
I don't
entire
even
movie.
think that it's like. Well, this is based in like the 1950s, 50s if not 60s. It's a timepiece.
Right. No, I thought it was 70s though. But I mean,
Is it
I
70s?
could
I might be
totally
wrong.
inaccurate.
No, it's probably 70s. Yeah, now that I think about it, I think it's 70s. I don't know why I said 50s. I think it is 70s.
Because it is most certainly a period piece. It
Yeah.
is not modern.
And I mean, for all intents and purposes, we know Batman as a more like 90s to 2000 era character.
Do you think that we're gonna have any other feeling of Gotham villains? Like
Yes.
maybe not a Falcone.
I think by the end of it, he's going to have like a clown army at his disposal.
So Joker is the first kindling of crime in Gotham. Like, cause like I'm saying, do we
I
have
think
like
there's
an
going to be-
Oswald Cobblepot?
There's going to be crime going on, I think, in the background. It's just not going to be like. I think what this movie is going to be is like Joker inspires all the criminals to work together rather than fight amongst each other. That's why you see, like, in the trailer, you got crowds at, the steps of the Capitol. That's what he's. I think in some way he's going to be a part of inciting riots and protests, and him saying things is going to get people riled up, and then he's going to realize that he has this power and is able to control these people.
Right. Again, I can't state enough the fact that this definitely is going to be praiseworthy. I mean, everything. The acting, the direction, the scripting.
And what's her name is in it? She was in Deadpool. I know it's like one of those names that like you feel it at the front of your brain. Where's the cast? Come on, motherfucker. Robert De Niro, Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Maron, Zazie Beetz. That's what it is. Yeah.
Domino herself.
Yep. I think that's a great casting for like some sort of like love interest, or like someone who tries to like reconnect him with like the good in humanity, or the good in Gotham City, and kind of remind him that like there is good in here, but there's a lot of bad that is holding back the good. And I think that's what this movie might explain, is how what we think of Joker is almost wrong, is his intentions. Like, yes, the way he goes about it is weird and like fucked up, but his intention is to bring down the system that is oppressing people, like the large scale corruption.
So that was going to be my question, is do you think that we're going to have any like pseudoscience, like any chemical reaction explanation for him going over?
I don't think so. I think this goes along with it being its
So
own
it's like
thing.
this is just a normal man who has a psychotic break who gains a lot of
I
power
think
through
well,
his means.
I think one thing they hinted at in the trailer is that he has a very close connection with his mom, and then his mom dies for some reason, either cancer related to Wayne Industries of some kind or something like that.
Very Chronicle-esque plot.
Yeah, and rather than it being a chemical reaction, it's a societal reaction. It's him reacting to it. Like, I think what's going to happen is his mom's going to die. He's going to be depressed as fuck. He's going to go try and like put his comedy out there and go to a club. He
Roasted by De Niro.
roasted by Robert De Niro, and then he's going to like just take that and be like, I can do that. I'm funny. I can be on there one day, and I'm going to make them all laugh. So, I think it's one thing they also had in the trailer was he was working as a clown, like waving a sign or whatever, and then people are picking on him. And I think that's also going to be a part of like his character progression, his character arc is kind of proving to people that he's not just some dumb clown. He's someone worth respecting. And I think that's what is going to be a real connecting factor in this movie. And us connecting to Joker as that character is like, we want to be respected for the work we're passionate about. And when you're doing something because you love it, you want people to recognize that and not ridicule you for it.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
My whole thing, I'm going out on everything about this movie
And
looks
that's- yeah.
astounding. I just hope that by the end of it, I could see this being Gotham.
Yes.
Like, this isn't
This is where
this isn't-
Gotham becomes the crime central.
this isn't just a breakdown of a man. This
Yes.
isn't One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest minus the asylum.
This is his effect on the city as a whole. Like, yes, it is about him.
Is that right? To what capacity?
It's got to be like as a story, like side note, you know?
Alfred Pennyworth is a character within this film. Thomas Wayne is in this film.
Okay.
Getting bombs dropped left and right, like having Gotham continuity. It's interesting.
So yeah. Oh yeah, not touchscreen. Oh, Brett Cullen. Where's Pennyworth? Oh, yep. Douglas Hodge. So we got Alfred and Papa Wayne. So yeah, it is a before Batman. Yeah, we're yeah. Okay. Now, do you think that Thomas Wayne's going to be like the de facto Batman? No.
Not at all. I imagine Thomas Wayne being more of a crippling influence of class structure.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
He's a beacon of hope while simultaneously being
the
that
reason that Joker is in dire straits, maybe.
right, that structural format.
Yeah. Interesting.
But I mean, that's also we're talking about the breakdown of a man.
Yeah. But also the build up of a man. Like, it's the breakdown and build up at the same time, where like
It's the
He's-
fucked up Phoenix.
he's becoming the worst and best parts of himself at the same time because of how society is treating him. Like, he's becoming his most confident self and being like reaching his full potential, but at the same time that potential is the Joker. So like he feels good about it because he's realizing his like inner like drive, like the reason for his existence.
It's also the trouble with these villain-based movies is how do you end? Like, what is your
I would be happy
your
with
climax
no sequel.
conflict resolution? No, but I'm saying like, how do you end a movie where your bad guy is your protagonist? Like, they achieve their villainous intent,
I think that's-
and then you like tease to a superhero to come for time
No.
continuity later.
I don't even think
or-
you can do that. You just got to kind of leave it as it is.
So I mean, we're talking about conflict resolution, where the conflict is the police, and like your triumph is overcoming the police to have crime reign. Like
No,
it's
The conflict is about the
that's-
character.
that's
The conflict
the
is that
meat-
you
that's the
connect
meat.
with him.
But around what bones? Like having a character-driven movie only goes so far when it's like, how do you framework it? Like, what do you build it upon?
Yeah. It.
So you can
No matter how
hold on.
bad,
Let
yeah.
let me take that to the nth degree and assume that if we don't have a positive resolution for the titular character, and you have a villain.
Do you even need a positive
No,
resolution?
but yeah, if we have a movie where we're creating a supervillain and the supervillain gets sent to prison by the end of it, the pathos is
or
it's,
Arkham Asylum.
It's not by. Yeah.
Essentially, he finds his freedom
Is
through
that
finding
fr-
himself.
Is that from the movie?
And
Okay. I love the concept of the arc of a man who breaks and finding oneself, as you're saying.
I don't think he
and-
breaks more or less, or more than he. Like, we see it as him breaking, but it's him realizing that his former self is dying. And he needs to become, the whole metaphor of, like, a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. Even if it's
I'll
dangerous.
still hold on to the breaking, and I'll see your butterfly and raise you a glow stick, because the Joker is the glow stick. You break him, shake him up a little bit, and he fucking shines.
I like
he
that
he
metaphor.
lights up the dark.
I like that metaphor. I do. And I like the idea of, like, him, like, his motive is to break down the corruption in the city. And he has to become more corrupt than the corrupted.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Like, the one takeaway that I absolutely love from the trailer, it starts off with him being genuinely, wholesomely playful with a child on a train. Like,
Yeah.
being nice
Like-
to a kid, trying to make someone's day brighter. And then it's the adult who shuts him down and makes him look and feel like an asshole
And I think that's why.
for trying to, like, bring a smile.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's
everything,
why-
he's perpetually
yeah.
demonized while still trying to just manically do good.
Yeah.
Like, what he sees as good is breaking the structures that bind, like, containing happiness from everyone.
Well, I think he's trying to combat the. Like, he wants to make people happy and make people smile in a world that is filled with crime and pain and sadness. And, like, he knows that, like, his goal is more important, like, than the social boundaries that he's faced with. Like, the adult, like you said, the adult is the one who turns to him. He's like, "Can you quit bothering my kid?" And you can tell that he wants to say to her, like, "I'm not bothering your kid. I'm just trying to make him laugh." But he doesn't. He sits there and he internalizes it. And that struggle of facing a systematic problem, like, it's a societal problem. It's not like there's one person who's corrupt who's, like, spreading the word of, being a bad person. It's everyone who's just around him that is not allowing for happiness to exist, not allowing for people to smile. And that's all he wants people to do, is just smile and be happy and laugh. And I think getting into, like,
Well, and I mean, realistically, not to fully sunshine and rainbows it, like, sometimes people just want to watch the world burn. Like, you see.
I like a Heath Ledger Joker. I agree.
No, but I mean, that can also tie into the pathos of this character, where it's like, listen, motherfucker,
He might
I
give
tried
up.
I tried so hard for you fools, time
Yeah.
in and time out.
Yeah.
I tried to smile, and I will continue smiling.
No
But
matter
you're,
what you do.
you're not going to like what comes next because I tried it your way. Now I'm doing it my way. and his way is a lot more cathartic,
Yeah.
for lack of
this is-
horrible terminology.
Yeah, I think like we said, it's like you see the breaking of a man by society and like the culture around him, bringing him like not just bringing him down, but making him feel like what his purpose is stupid or unworthy, or like him trying to make a child laugh. It's the simplest action a person can do with the most reward. Like one thing I've heard is like, there's nothing better than a child's laughter or some shit like that.
Right.
And he knows that there is good in Gotham City, and he wants to like show that, but people don't interpret him as being kind or funny or genuine. They see him as a nuisance or a bother, and him trying to prove otherwise is how he becomes the Joker. Is just trying to prove to people that like what you're doing isn't right, and
It's
Well,
a
maybe not
fighting.
that much.
It's a
Yeah.
fighting fire with fire mentality of
Yeah.
like, you're not doing right, so I'm not going to do right back at you.
but in my way. Yeah.
I can't emphasize.
I mean,
enough.
comedy itself
It
is
looks
calling
fucking beautiful.
comedy itself is calling attention to the woes of society and saying what we're all thinking. And that's who the Joker is. He's just doing what we're all thinking and saying what we're all thinking. So, obviously, I'm excited for it. You're excited for it. We're all excited for it. It's going to be a showstopper of a movie. It's probably going to be Oscar nominated.
Not far out. I mean,
I-
little over a month.
I almost don't want to see a sequel. I would just rather this be its own standalone thing and just let it be what it is.
Where do you go from here? We
Yeah.
have to see the events transpire before we can even have that conversation.
Before we end this conversation, though, do you think that not Heath Ledger's Joker, but Jared Leto's Joker is the son of him? Because I've often had that theory.
Canonically,
Where
in
they
the
could tie it
comics, there have been 3 people to own the mantle of the Joker. Like 3 human men who have had the moniker Joker. I do not know if that's the direction they're going to be going with this DCEU of having multiple people
I'm just
hold
looking.
the Joker moniker.
I'm just looking at chronologically, like.
If you're asking me my preference, though, I would hope not.
Yeah.
I hope that whatever this Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie is able to live and breathe in its own pocket, and then
I agree.
you don't have to tie one arm behind your back having to have Joaquin Phoenix be this person that was either the person before or the father, grandfather
father of
right.
Joker, yeah.
You don't need to tether yourself like that. This can just be a one shot.
Yep,
Like in comics.
I agree.
I mean, but that's my personal preference. You could have those cool Easter egg tie-ins, but if this is its
We're
own
like, what
thing,
if-
let it wholly
What if
be
Jared
its own
Leto's
thing.
Joker is the child of him and Zazie Banks? You know, because they do kiss in the trailer. It's Beats, not Banks. Sorry, Beats. Because they do kiss in the trailer, and he's like going into her room, so they have sex, is my assumption. And
I mean, that is 80 movie.
if a Joker, if
Implication.
a son of Joker grows up in that Gotham that he sets up, I could see that probably being Jared Leto's. If not Heath Ledger. It would be cooler if it were Heath Ledger, but at the same time, you can't really go on from that. So, Streech.
Indeed. Man,
Yeah. So yeah, that's
I'll take it for what it's
Yep.
worth
we'll
when it comes.
I can't wait to see it. Literally cannot
They've
wait.
shown us as much as they can show us without.
It's the
giving
final trailer.
everything
It's
away.
officially
Yeah.
the final trailer that we're getting, so don't expect anything else after that. So, all right. What else do we got for screen?
Sir, we got Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell. It
Ah, yeah.
has 3 days of theatrical release.
3 days.
900 select theaters. It's going to be the
God
16th,
damn.
17th, and 18th.
That's not a lot of theaters.
September this month. This month you get 3 days: 16th, 17th, and 18th. And it's not guaranteed for every theater, so it's like you gotta do a little bit of research if you want to see
Son
this
of a
movie.
bitch.
It's not gonna be during Halloween. It's not the end of October. It is
Nope.
mid-September, and it is. I mean, if it's your cup of tea, like
I like
this
the
is
idea.
worth seeking it out for the limited time that
Yeah.
it's going to be out, because
I think that'll drive more people to it as well. Just
Right.
being like a 3 from Hell 3-day gore weekend or
it
some
makes
shit
it
like
an
that.
event rather than getting swept up in the festivities of everything.
Yeah.
Like, you could drop this in Halloween, and it's like you could have 4 other movies coming out like the week before, during, and after that
Mhm.
completely overtake it.
Yep.
But bringing it out in September without a whole lot of competition, like, yeah, make it 3 days so you can hype this event. Like,
Yep.
you're either a part of it and love this,
And I love
and
Rob
the people
Zombie.
that are going to see it are going to see it immediately when they can.
Yes.
For the brief time that it's there.
Yes. And then you're going to have everyone else be either downloading it, or I'm sure Netflix has some sort of deal, I would assume, since Netflix is kind of a fuck you business where they kind of just do whatever they want. I could see them picking it up near Halloween
Mhm.
even. And that would be their main source of, or that would be Rob Zombie's main source of, like, you know, money and stuff, rather than it just being a 3-day just whatever, and then everyone downloads it off of some sort of pirating website. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie films. House of a Thousand Corpses fucking blew me away as a kid. I saw it when I was 12, 13 years old. So
I give that one its props for sure, but it's kind of the same way I give props to Terminator and like highlight Terminator 2.
sure.
Like, Terminator's dope. Terminator 2 is a fucking masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
I love House of a Thousand Corpses, but Devil's Rejects is like
God.
that shining emerald.
It is just the tits movie.
And all we can hope is that Terminator Dark Fate is anywhere near as good as 3 from Hell.
I've heard good things. I've heard good things about this new Terminator movie. I'm glad
Oh,
James Cameron got
Again, fingers
associated with it, because he knows how to make it like a decent, like, beginning, middle, and end movie where you're like, yes, 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 explosion, yes.
So you
And then-
think like the entire movie is going to be perpetually driving action forward?
I think you're gonna see a lot more fighting than you have, like hand-to-hand combat, than you have in other Terminator movies, and
As long
obviously
as it
you
has
have.
a good framework.
I know,
I just
but this
like-
is taking place after Terminator 2.
Mhm.
This is not associated with Terminator Salvation or Genesis or whatever the other ones were. This is apparently taking place after the nukes explode and whatever else, like day after in detonation day or whatever it is, doomsday. So this is its own, like the Joker, it's its own thing now. It's not trying to bounce off of the Christian Bale Terminator is a good way of doing it. It's kind of like John Connor died and the Terminator's whatever, and it's kind of just its own new continuation off of that. And then you got Arnold returning, and of course, because you got to get him in every fucking movie. Oh my god.
Is there going to be any time travel? This is a time travel movie, not a robot fighting movie.
I think well, there wasn't time travel per se in the last couple, so I could see them not doing it or not having it. It might be like an ending thing where someone has to get sent back in time. I don't know. I think you can do this one without. You know what I mean? I think you can, like, the time traveling trope is kind of like run its course at this point. So I could see them not doing it, but I could also see them kind of hinting at it being, or like, you know, maybe they joke about time travel in some way. Like, I hope you don't fucking time travel back from the future and have to kill me. I could see them making some sort of offhand joke about it, but not actually being a like a plot point in the movie. So
They both come out in October.
Yes.
Joker and Terminator.
fuck yeah.
Which you know, let's go ahead and use that as a segue.
Yeah.
I know we don't try and heavily hit on the segues, but you know,
So yeah,
Joker and
Joker
Terminator are
and
both
Terminator.
DLC characters.
We did
and
not plan this at
Mo-
all. So yeah, the how do you feel about this Joker that's in this new Mortal Kombat DLC?
a lot more positively than I do about Terminator.
Are you sure? I mean,
Did you
at
know
least-
that
at
this
least-
Terminator is
okay.
not going to be voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I did not know that actually.
Yeah, before you get too hyped and excited about this Terminator.
I don't really
that
care
I'm
about
poo-pooing.
that as much as well. I kind of care about that.
You do? If it's gonna have his likeness and not his voice.
Yeah, how can you have a exact replica
It's a
of a Terminator?
bastardization.
Yeah, is it gonna?
It hurts me.
I mean, is it gonna be someone who's like good? I mean, okay, I have questions.
Yeah. It
Number one,
instantly unravels everything.
Why
It
wouldn't
looks
Arnold,
like him,
Do you think
but
Arnold's?
it's not going to sound like him?
Do you think Arnold's just like getting old to the point where he can't like talk well, so they need to hire
I
an
think-
impersonator to do it?
No, I think it was a matter of like, we have this cool character, and the most identifiable version of him is Arnold. But I mean, yeah, again, he could be too, up there and not trying to like
I think
take the time to do it. Too busy with other like.
He might be
prior
busy.
engagements.
He might
No, but I
just
mean,
be like,
or
get
they could not have the money.
get an impersonator.
Right.
You can do it.
And any number of reasons. But so like, Terminator.
You can use my likeness, but that's it. You cannot use my voice.
All right. So the full scope of this
You must
story.
pay $10,000 per recording.
The
Terrible at that. The only thing I
Hey,
know how to do is pump the iron.
Swing the
Get to the
fucking
chopper.
fences. Right.
Do it now.
Um.
Go on. It's not a tumor. That's really all I know. I want to hear it's not a tumor in the Mortal Kombat DLC though. Maybe he gets infected with something. It's not a tumor.
All this makes me more sad.
Because if you get an impersonator, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want at that point. You can have him say whatever, unless you have to get like licensing from. What was that movie that Christmas one with the
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
It's the.
Did you also,
masterpiece.
speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, did you hear that Jason Momoa wants to do a was it Twins? Or with
I don't want any part of that.
Peter Dinklage is who he wants to be the short guy.
God damn it! Hollywood will eat that up.
Jason
Son
Momoa
of a
and
bitch.
Peter Dinklage.
Get that out of my mind.
So
You
yeah,
asshole.
well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, but
I
I could even see them doing a reboot of Jingle All the Way
Uh,
with all this Marvel nonsense,
motherfucker.
and just being like have a parody
This
of like
makes me
Captain
more
America.
angry than the Mortal Kombat DLC. So thank you for softening my blow on what's to come.
Yeah,
Cause fuck, like man.
everybody's just doing whatever the fuck they want at this point. So just expect everything to get rebooted in some way, shape, or form. I would even not put it past him to do a what's that number 5 Short Circuit? You remember Short Circuit back in the day with like the robot that gets struck by lightning and gets a personality?
Yeah.
I could see that. being rebooted. Also, what's that one where Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant?
Junior?
Is that Junior? I thought it was like.
I don't know. I know that you're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger pregnant.
How did we get here? God
I don't
damn
even know how
you,
to spell his name.
Terminator.
So yeah,
First
the Mortal
you ruined
Kombat
my-
DLC.
Yeah, first you ruined my Mortal Kombat.
We got Shang Tsung. We got what's his nuts?
Nightwolf?
Nightwolf, Terminator, Joker. Which the Joker that they gave us is very pop color. It's very poppy. He's very reduced to his basic elements, and he has some sort of staff that looks like a Riddler staff, but it's got a skull on it. I don't know. That's it is weird.
Okay, so let's break this down real quick before moving any further.
Schwarzenegger pregnant. It
Just
is
to
Junior.
Hit it with a
Yeah.
couple facts.
Also, Robert De Niro.
Fuck you, Junior. Terminator is December 8th. December 8th is when we get Terminator.
Oh,
or
Christ.
not December, October.
October 8th.
Yeah, so we have a month and a couple days till Terminator. The month after that, November 26th, we get Sindel. After that, we have to wait till January for Joker.
Oh, so it's not a whole like
January
DC
28th.
DLC. Separate?
No, Shang Tsung and Nightwolf have been, because the game came out in April.
That's
like
right.
I've steady been getting like these DLC trickles as we've
Okay.
been going, like providing longevity for the game. So
Yeah.
we had the
I get
game
that.
with
Yeah.
base roster, and then
Okay.
after that they brought Shang. After
Yep.
Shang Tsung, they brought in.
Nightwolf.
And next we have Terminator.
Terminator.
And October 8th, then Sindel, then
Sindel.
Joker. And we have to wait
Joker.
all the way till March. March 17th for Spawn.
So do you think that we're going to be
Spawn,
getting a
my
Spawn?
most anticipated character
So,
of Combat Pack 1. Like, this makes
Does
me
that-
hope for Combat Pack 2 so fiercely.
okay, does that mean though that we're going to be getting a Spawn trailer around the same time?
I don't know. I mean, it's...
Why would they push it that far though?
Well, it makes sense that they brought Terminator to the forefront with the Terminator movie coming out in October, the same month as bringing him in for the DLC. But
Exactly.
Joker also has a movie in October. So the fact that you're
Yes.
not doing both Joker and Terminator, like, why are you putting all
Well, I
your
think they
eggs
want-
in a particular basket?
I think they
it's
just want the-
confusing to me.
They want the Joker to kind of like run through its lifespan and then release the Joker DLC so that people are still continuing to be hyped about the Joker. You know what I mean?
Right, fandom for the Joker isn't going anywhere. Where, depending on whether the Terminator is good or
Exactly.
bad, could determine on whether or not you're psyched on the Terminator being in your video game.
Exactly. So, and especially since this Joker does not look like a Joaquin Phoenix Joker, it's very much its own looking thing.
Well, this is a game where we have a lot of different skin options.
Good point. Yeah. A lot of different skin options. So
Right, that's why when we're bringing up, I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's Terminator, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
who we get, you can have different palette swapped options. Or
I hope we
different
get every
costumes.
Joker. Honestly, I hope we're able to like switch in.
That's why I'm not worried
back and
about the
forth.
Joker looking kind of goofy with the cane and the.
That's
as you
not
said,
his
poppy
set
look.
look.
No,
Yeah,
that is
I
his
could-
set look, but you can also swap it out for a different look if
Good
you
point.
don't like his base look.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Sindel, I'm stoked on. Joker, he's an Injustice, so I'm very like lukewarm on. Terminator, I hate because we could have much better options.
Yeah, let's talk about the other options. So I saw a video the other day where someone was talking about how in the code for Mortal Kombat, there's code for Ash
Yeah, and
from
Pennywise.
Rise of Evil Dead or Evil Dead, and then Pennywise for sure.
I wrote my speculation for what a Combat Pack 2
And there was
would
also
be.
someone else, but there was only like a 3-letter phrase or whatever. It was like CHL or COL or something like that. It was
Yeah, these coding a lot.
it was a code, and the person that I watched, they didn't know what it was, and they're pretty up on it. So we'll have to see what that is. yeah, I'm not sure what that could be, but yeah, we'll see about that. Like I said last week, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be getting at least 2 DLCs.
If we were to, let me run down real quick with you, because as a huge Mortal Kombat fan,
yeah,
if we're having a DLC Combat Pack 1 with 6 characters, if we were to do a second DLC Combat Pack, I would, with the data mining talking about Ash and Pennywise, like we already know that those are coming, so
Yeah.
that's 2 of the 6. So if I were to add 4 more, the biggest 2 that would be discussed are Fujin and Havoc. And
Okay.
then from there, I personally would like to see the one person who got left shelved from Mortal Kombat X that deserved to be in this game, Takeda. If you give him a little bit more of a Kenshi telekinetic moveset
yeah,
option, then it makes him less of a Scorpion Light and makes him more of his own independent character that's both ninja and, TK master. And then from there was a fucking coin toss flip for me, because there was a couple like really solid female characters I'd love to see. My 3 that I whittled it down to for sure were Ashra, Natara, and Kira. And of those, like, Natara's a little similar to Devora. Kira, though having ties to Kano, like story-wise, has a very limited and familiar moveset, where Ashra has like an ethereal presence, a little bit of pathos within the scheme of things of being like this demon character that's trying to kill demons to do good, to be able to get out of hell or another realm. And moveset and gear could be very unique, where much in the way of like Cetrion, where you have more like positive, poppy, ethereal looking, or gruesome, demonic looking.
Yeah.
You have options. And then moveset wise, same reason I want to bring Fujin in is the same reason I'd want to bring Asher in, where you have characters that do not necessarily play the exact same as the same characters, while having similar enough moves that you don't have to reinvent your tech. Like, these are all
it's
like
all pretty standard.
mechanics that you have in your tool set that you just have to remodel for a different aesthetic. I would love for having Ashra in there, but that's if we get a Combat Pack 2, which we will not even start hearing rumblings of until next year, because
I
March
wouldn't
is when
expect
we get the last
anything.
character of this Combat Pack.
I would expect
Fuck
something.
yeah, Spawn. I cannot emphasize enough.
I know.
Fuck yes.
That's gonna be a good character.
Yay, Spawn.
Just I can't wait for the fatalities on that. They're gonna be so gruesome, just with the chains and everything.
We've already
But I would
gotten some
expect to
bad
see a
ones.
trailer for the DLC pack, the second one, probably in January, February area, probably end of January.
Yeah, by the time we
after
get
the holiday
Joker,
season.
by the time we get the Joker one in
Yeah.
January, late January 28th is when Joker
I think that's
comes
when
out.
we're gonna see a trailer
Begin-
for the DLC
early
pack,
February,
and then it'll
right.
probably come out a couple weeks after Spawn does, if not a month.
Yeah, maybe a month or so.
Yeah,
like, maybe a
give or
couple months,
take.
right.
Yeah, just to put it past Spawn. Just let people play through that, get it, keep their excitement for it, and then they have something to look forward to after Spawn.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that'll be good. All right, for Beyond, we have
Along with
Mortal Kombat, we have Cyberpunk 2077.
a little bit more footage, a little bit deeper dive into your potential archetypes. You can be more of a tank, an attacker, and have a skill tree that branches off from that particular playstyle, or more of a stealthy hacker, and trying to, have your branching tree be more covert and manipulating.
Yeah. So, if you haven't had a chance to look at all the walkthrough,
Everything about it is so
walkthrough demo.
stunningly beautiful.
it looks great. It has potential for super ultra mega open world exploration with it.
Graphic violence.
Let's put it this way: the map it's the whole map, the 100% whole map is divided into 6 regions. Each region is, I think, twice, if not bigger, twice as big as the Grand Theft Auto 5 map. So that
Very encompassing.
times 6. So it's big. And
It's a lot.
you can explore damn near every part of it. So, if not every part of it. And every part of it has some sort of story or element going on that you can explore. So,
Yeah, and you were mentioning earlier the fact that different interactions will have different consequences.
different outcomes.
Right. So if you're partnering with one person, you'll upset another group, or potentially if you approach a different group, the
The
previous group will side along with you.
Yeah, it depends on, like, there's almost, well, of course, when there's a game like this, there's obviously a whole universe that they've built. So different factions are okay with different ones and not okay with other ones. But they put you into this game with you not knowing which is which. You kind of have to figure it out on your own. And then each interaction that you have with these groups, you can choose either to be aggressive or more passive, and then depending on what you pick can determine the relationship that group might have with another group. So each decision you make has, like reality, different branches of consequences that you're not aware of. And having that element in a game like this, as big and as open world and as fantastical as it looks, with it being like super sci-fi, or not even super sci-fi, but like a futuristic sci-fi thriller almost, there's almost infinite potential to create a game or a campaign that isn't like someone else's. They say that, like, you're going to have to play through this at least 7 to 10 times for you to see everything with different characters and making different decisions. Right. So it's like Bandersnatch on Netflix with Black Mirror, where your decisions are going to be different every time you go back and watch it or do it or play it or do whatever. And I love that games are getting more like that, where the decisions you make are random, or the consequences to the decisions that you make are randomized and affect your gameplay in a real way. And it just makes it that much more not only replayable, but like enjoyable, worth your money. You know, if you pay $80, $79.99, $69.99 for a game, you want to get at least $70 worth of entertainment out of that. And that's hours and hours and hours of gameplay, you know, depending on your value of a game, you know.
I'm glad that we're getting all of this information as early as we are, because the game coming out next month, or not next month, next year.
Next year.
Having enough time to acclimate yourself to what the mechanics are going to be, so you can form your own narrative. If it's going to give you so many different options like that, having you be able to pre-map the road that you want to travel is like convenient for a player of the game who maybe you don't want to replay the game 7-8 times to be able to get the full story. Maybe you want to have your one solid perfect playthrough.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to start figuring out who is better for you and your mindset and your gameplay and your tactics.
And then also leaving open that possibility of you trying a different character in a different way. Like, it gives you a lot of freedom, and I think that's what we want in a lot of these, in any of these open world games that are coming out that are utilizing, next gen console level size and graphics and story, and it's going to be one hell of a game. And then obviously Keanu Reeves being attached to it and being like your companion almost. Your like co-op companion, the person that's like guiding you, like, oh, maybe
Slash cursing you?
yeah. So like, if you make a decision, apparently that is, I don't know, he'll react to the decisions you make. Like, I don't know if you should have done that, but whatever. Or, yeah, that sounds cool.
You know
Or
what was
no,
the most
I
interesting?
wouldn't trust this guy. Like, he kind of like is that like voice in your head that it's almost like your consciousness, doubling back on itself, and he appears as Johnny Silverhand. And you're gonna figure out like eventually who Johnny Silverhand is and why he's a ghost in the machine, for lack of a better term. For those of you who watched iRobot, you'll get that. Or Ghost in a Shell, for those of you who get that. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for it. It looks dope. It's gonna be first person, so you'll have like mirrors you can look in and look at your character, rather than kind of it being like more of a Mass Effect third person driven narrative. I like a first person like heads up display. I mean, you're basically a person with cybernetic enhancements. So being first person, if you have anything like if you watch the gameplay run through, when they plug something into you, you see the screen or the HUD or the information that's going on. So there's no need for you to be a third person in that type of game because all the information is readily available. So
I'd say one of the things I'm most
even while
excited
driving,
about,
you're not in third person, you're in first person mode. So it's like Far Cry in that sense, where you are in this mode where you are you, and you are not going to be operating outside of yourself. It's not like Grand Theft Auto, where when you get in a vehicle, you go to, like, if you're in first person. Oh wait, no, you can go into first person all the time in Grand Theft Auto. That was stupid. Don't listen to me. But I gotta pee soon. So, what else we got?
No, real quick before we're done.
Yeah, before we move on.
I was saying that the thing I'm very curious about and excited about, that this landscape does not look dystopian or utopia.
I think it changes depending on the place, on the regions you go to. I think each region is different.
Aesthetically very captivating. Like,
Yes.
being able to see things that are in great turmoil and things that are also in great advancement, and the very wide gap of gray line between.
Yes. There's a division between the upper class and, like, even to the point where when you choose your character, you can choose their backstory. You can choose whether you grew up in the dumps or you came from a high class, high society, and you're, doing the thing. So there's almost a class war element to this, where you're fighting against or for either the lower or upper class.
I'm very curious to see what this game unfolds into.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. It's going to be one of those games where it's going to be worth the money you pay for it. It's like really worth it, I think. So, yeah. Cyberpunk 2077. Get excited, because it's going to be a while, so you got to stay excited. So get yourself excited. And last but not really least, Aladdin.
Yeah, and Lion King.
And Lion King. I don't know if you played it as a kid on Sega, but I did. At least I played Aladdin on a friend's, and then I ended up getting Lion King. So, and then my mom sold my Sega, as moms do back in the day. You know what my mom said to me today?
Uh-oh.
Actually, no, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
We're having a garage sale at my house, and I have a bin of toys from the 90s or whatever, and my mom literally says to me, "Oh, hang on to those Pokemon cards." when back in the day, she thought it was the stupidest thing. And also, she sold a Beanie Baby for $50 the other day because it was a rare one.
Yeah, stock market value on material things is kind of tough line.
But I did
there.
find an original Meowth and Cubone. So, and a Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh card. I have to check the price on it, but
Nostalgia's nice.
yeah. Some things are more valuable than others to some
No,
people.
and
but
that's the whole thing. Is nostalgia is nice, but everything has a material cost, and what you're willing to put the cost on something is
True.
It's
Yeah.
beauty in the eye of the beholder.
Speaking
and,
of,
and spending is in the pocket of the wallet.
so like we were saying, Aladdin and Lion King's original Sega game, side-scroller games, are getting re-released for all of the video game consoles. So they are a combo pack. You get Aladdin and Lion King, where you can choose color.
For the price of a regular game, right? Like
I think so. Yeah,
$60
$69.99, $59.99, something like that.
Mhm.
And you get both of them, and you can choose between color old, or black and white, old school, no color.
Okay.
So you can have the nostalgia feeling of playing on a black and white TV without the need of having a black and white tube TV. So that should be fun for everybody who's likes taking a blast from the past back in the video game days.
Those
I think
side-scrolling
Sonic-
games were a lot of fun.
I think we're gonna see a Sonic re-release with the movie that's coming out too. So we'll see.
Ugh,
But
tastes
yeah,
vomit.
it is
in
what
my
it is.
mouth.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Mm.
time to wrap up. So
You guys are wonderful. Thank
you guys
for
are very wonderful. Yes.
Thanks for sticking with us, and man, it's all exciting.
Yep.
So many things right around the corner.
Never stop being excited.
No, we are a week away from It Chapter 2, which I can't wait
Yes.
for us to be able to.
The reviews are in, and it is one hell of a movie. Everybody loves Bill Hader.
I'm
of
really
course,
excited
so-
for us to be able to give our takes on it. And
Yep.
I mean, whether it's spoiler or non-spoiler sense, like,
Either way,
it's right around the
if you haven't seen the first It, go see the first It.
No,
Even
we're-
if you're a child, please go watch the first It and get your reality realigned. So, and then go see It Chapter 2 because it's adults and that'll be fun. So, all right, everybody, if you like this kind of content, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button below, and don't forget to ring the bell just so you get an update every time we upload one of these podcasts or any other videos we end up making. We've got a few ideas of some stuff down the road, some Comic-Con type stuff, some running around with a video camera. We'll see, but stay tuned for that. But otherwise, check us next time on our next podcast, and yeah, I'm John Tubbs.
I'm Keegan Lagerfall. It's been
And-
fun, guys.
All right, see you in the next one.
Peace.